Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my out-of-box review for the HGUC Sinanju. So I have managed to have time to get this kit all snapped up and now doing the review for you guys before I get the RG. The RG is currently on its way to me, so I'll have that very soon and have that review coming out to you guys very soon. But in the meantime, let's take a look at the HGUC kit so that way when we get the RG, I can compare the two and see what are the pros and cons of each. I think definitely one pro of this kit is going to be that it's cheaper, so that's definitely going to be one thing. The RG is definitely more expensive, and this kit does seem to be pretty nice, so I think, you know, if you don't want to spend as much, I think this is definitely not a bad option, but, you know, we'll see when we compare the two. So I'll give you guys a look around the kit. I think overall this is one of those HG kits that's just like a step above the normal HG kit just because of how nice it is. Really nice color separation. Obviously we have a lot of stickers on this kit. I think that's probably going to be one of people's main concerns or main complaints about this kit is the amount of stickers. But honestly, there was a couple thoughts about that. First of all is that honestly the stickers don't look that bad. So if you are going to use the stickers, they don't look bad, I think, and as you'll see throughout the course of this review, I have all those gold trim stickers on there. There are a lot of them, and honestly I don't think they're that hard to put on, but just be careful and take your time with it. If you're not going to use the stickers, it's also not really a big problem because doing a reverse wash technique on all of that, it's all raised and nicely crisp details, so you know, doing a reverse wash to paint that won't be the most difficult thing in the world to do. So honestly, the stickers is, yeah, a small issue, but really not that big of an issue for me personally. Overall, it's just a really nice kit. We have a higher parts count, I think, than most HGs just because of, that's partially just due to the design. It's fairly large, just as I mentioned in the unboxing, it's just a larger design as well. So it's just got a lot of stuff going for it, as well as a lot of really cool accessories. We just have like the rifle and the beam sabers and beam axes, but we have different effect parts and all that stuff for them and different ways you can use that and all sorts of cool stuff. So I think there's really a lot packed into this HG release that definitely will keep this a really important kit in the HG line even with the RG out. So let's take a look at the articulation, because that is definitely going to be one thing that I know is going to be one comparison we'll need to make. So first thing, we'll start off with the head, and the articulation of the head is pretty crap. It's not going to go down at all, pretty much like to there. Up a little bit, not too bad, but I just kind of wish it could point down a little bit more. It's just kind of like straight like that. As you'll see, I've got a sticker in there. There's a sticker, small green sticker for the mono eye inside there. The fin on the top, the commander antenna, had a flag at the end. I trimmed that, so it's just nice and sharp there at the top now, but that won't look like that stock. On the back of the head, you will have a seam line. I can turn this around. Here, it's kind of hard, really small, and not really all that noticeable, but so you might even just like not even want to care to even try to bother with that. But there's a small seam line there on the back of the head. The top of the head is nice, though. The top is just one piece, so that is one of the nice things about this kit. In the shoulders are going to swing forward only about that much. You can see they're coming forward a little bit. Up only about to there, and then this part moves separately. And then you can bring the arm up just about 90 degrees there, so not too bad, and not really all that great. A rotation there. The bend in the elbow is going to give you more than 90 degrees, but not too much more. Obviously a bunch of stickers all wrapped around there. Hands are just on ball joints. One nice thing about this kit too is the hand options we have. We do actually have closed fists with this kit, which is great, along with some other options which I'll get to in a minute. In the waist, again, not really going to be a whole lot going on there. We're going to have a little bit forward and back movement, of course moving side to side a little bit there as well. We are a little bit limited by these hoses here on the side. Those can move a little bit, but not too much. So overall the waist is going to be kind of not really a whole lot. Here in the backpack, these fuel tanks can move around. They're just on ball joints in there. The main kind of part of the backpack here can move around in kind of every which way, so no problem with the articulation there. This does open up like that, so that's the range of movement on that. I know one thing about the RG is that this also separates here in the middle too. These parts can like separate out, and I think they extend a little bit as well. So this part is nice on the HG, definitely going to be better on the RG though, that's for sure. So with the skirt armor, the front skirts, you can separate them if you want. They're attached, but you can separate them just by clipping them in the middle. You get a nice part separation here with the yellow parts that are going to be poking out there on the shoulders as well. It's nice that we get these small yellow vents as separate parts. Side skirts can move up and down a little bit, pretty well, actually not all that bad. And the back skirts are nice because the back skirts are like the front skirts in that you can separate them, you can cut them apart. They're just ball joints, and you can separate the back skirts as well, which is pretty rare for an HG. Also, as I mentioned in the unboxing, we have some really nice detail up underneath the back skirts, which is also really rare for an HG. The front skirt is nothing underneath there, but the back skirts, we do have some really nice detail. So that's all pretty good. And then you can see there we have just the plug for a standard peg style action-based connector, which is nice. The legs, this is going to be one thing that is a little bit disappointing. Here at the top, the rotation is going to be limited. Here you can see it's only going to be rotating about that much, and that's because it's just plugged on via a ball joint. There's no rotating mechanism there at the top. One thing about all of these stickers on this kit is that, of course, when you're handling it a bunch, you run the risk of peeling up some of the stickers, so just be a little bit careful. I'm sure it's going to happen more than once over the course of this review that I'm going to be peeling up some stickers. So that is just one of the downsides of using those. The knee is going to give you a really nice bend though. We'll see you get a really nice full bend there in the knee. So that is really nice. This part here on the side is able to move separately just a little bit. See if I can get this out of the way here. You have to kind of pull it off a little bit off the leg a little bit, and then you can move that around. That's another part that's going to be improved with the RG, and this is separated into a few parts that you can extend out more. So that'll be nice. And there's another thruster bell up inside of there as well, so all really nicely detailed. Ankles are just on ball joints, so those are going to move around like normal, nothing too special, no bend in the toes or anything, but we do have a nice detail there up underneath the feet, which is nice. So again, just overall really nice HG kit here. A lot of stuff that a lot of HG kits don't normally have, but this kit does have, so that's nice. One more seam line that I did forget to point out here is on the thigh. There will be a seam line running down the thigh on the inside and outside. There, again, should be very easy to get rid of that because there's not really much of any other detail here on that thigh part, so just gluing and sanding that should be just very simple. Other than that, the only really seam lines worth mentioning, the shoulder, there's no seam line there. Again, most HGs would have a seam line here on the top of the shoulder. Don't have to worry about that with this kit. But the fuel tanks do have seam lines running down the length of them, but that is not really very surprising. For other hand options, we have two just regular holding hands. These will be what you'll use for the beam axes and the beam sabers. Then we also have a trigger finger, which I have here attached onto the rifle. I really love this Sinanju's rifle here. There's a green sticker there in the camera. The camera can move in this back part of there's kind of like two lenses there, two cameras, and the back part can move a little bit. Other than that, nothing really moves except for we have the grenade launcher here underneath. That's optional. You can move this part down. You can actually remove that if you want. I like it with the grenade launcher on, so that's why I like to keep it, but you can close that up and just have just a very thin rifle here. This is just a little bit too thin for me. It makes a very good looking like sniper rifle kind of thing, but I like just a little bit more beefier rifle with the grenade launcher on there as well. But otherwise, just really, really nice design here for that. If you want to plug this onto the back skirt, you can do that using this piece here. You'll just kind of plug the rifle onto here. And there's a piece there in the back skirt. You'll just take up that small little piece there and just replace that with this gray piece, plug it in, and then you can plug in the rifle here under the backpack. It's kind of a really tight fit though, so I don't really like to do that. I don't think it really fits all that well. Personally, I don't really like plugging rifles onto back skirts too often anyway, in general, so, but just know that you can do that with this kit using this small little piece here. Then we have our shield. Again, a bunch of stickers here lining on this one. Two stickers that I think you might have trouble with though are these long ones here going around to the bottom, because those are actually on the red part, they're not on the black part. So all these other stickers here on the black part is all raised detail that will be very easy to do reverse wash. For this one here on the red, though, that is sort of like an inner, like inside concave line on the red part, so that one might be a little bit harder to paint if you're just painting this, but here on the inside, then some kind of nice detail on there. Not really, I mean, a lot of it's more functional than anything else, but we have this connection piece which will plug into the back of the arm. You could use this on the left or the right arm, but probably going to use it on the left. You can plug either onto the side or the back of the arm, no matter where you want. Plugging it onto the side of the arm is where I would prefer it. The problem is that this part here of the shoulder armor does get in the way of that, so it's kind of like that. So plugging it onto the back of the arm is actually kind of a little bit ideal for this particular kit. Now the grenade launcher can also attach onto here. So we can plug this in to the shield right there if you want to have that on here instead of on the rifle. The other thing is we can attach our two beam axes here inside the shield like this. This would be like the sort of inactive version like that, but you can actually have it active like this if you want. We have beam effect parts. We have two short and two long beam effect parts like this. So say if you wanted to have this active, you can do that. It's gonna look something like that. So you could do that, and I think it kind of looks cool. But you can also, what you can do is swing these down. Now on the master grade, what you do is swing these down and then turn this around so that the beam is facing out. But on this kit, we don't have that extra point of articulation, so what you have to do is take these off and switch them to the other side like that. There's a little peg here that will kind of hold this in the right position, and here, once that's on there, then we can plug in our beam effect parts, and you can use the beam effect parts with the shield like that. Just again, really cool design for this kit to have that feature. So you can use both long or both short, or you can just use one side if you want, but again, really cool feature of this kit. Now if you want to hold the beam axes in the hand, we do have two different versions which are just meant to be handheld here. I've got one with the long effect part plugged in and one with the short effect part plugged in. The long effect part is going to make this, if you have this standing up next to the kit, that's going to make it, you know, as tall as the Sinanju itself with from the top to the bottom. So very long. Then if you want to take it a step further, you can actually connect these two together by just plugging them in, and they're going to be opposite like that. So it's sort of similar to like the Gelgug's what is it, the beam naginata, I think is what it's called, right? Or the DJ. So it's kind of similar to that by just plugging these together, and again you can use whichever beam effect part you want. And then the last thing here is our beam saber effect parts. It's definitely not the worst for last or the best for last, but definitely really cool beam saber effect parts here. They could have just gone with like just standard like normal plain shape just in yellow, but they made it like this really jagged design. It looks really fantastic. I think it really fits the look of the kit really well. So these are cool. These ideally, I think these are actually stored in the forearm of the Sinanju, but in this case we don't have anywhere to plug in these beam saber handles if you're not using them, so you just kind of have to just keep them like this. So that's it for all the accessories. Let's take a look at a comparison here. So if you're a big unicorn fan like me, this is a fitting comparison, I think, here with the recently reviewed HGUC Unicorn Gundam Destroy Mode red color version here. Both of them fought off against each other. You can see a couple of parts missing there from the full armor Unicorn Gundam. I think over time that kit is becoming a little bit more finicky, parts falling off it a little bit easier over time. But anyway, that's just another story. As for the Sinanju here, it's going to be looking quite large even compared to the Unicorn Gundam. The Unicorn Gundam, even in destroy mode, is pretty tall, and with all that extra stuff on there, it's going to be a pretty big Gundam. But you can see the Sinanju is looking like comparably just as large, if not larger, like overall. So that should give you an idea of just how large this Sinanju is and just how big this kit is going to be. A couple other things here that I should just add that I forgot to mention is that there are like flaps there on the part of the back of the leg that do open up as well. You can open up the back of the leg there, and there is another thruster bell up inside the back of the leg. The other thing concerning the trigger finger hand and its attachment to the rifle, the way that the trigger finger hand attaches onto the rifle is just by the rifle handle has a peg on the one side that fits into the slot on the hand. It's pretty common, but this one is a little bit larger. The peg is quite long. It runs almost the length, the entire like width of the palm, or like what would that be, the width, I guess, of the palm of the hand. Anyway, so it works really well. It's super solid. You're actually going to have a harder time getting that rifle out of the hand than trying to get it to hold the rifle. So holding that rifle is going to be absolutely no problem for this kit. So just to wrap this up, I think with this kit being 6 years old, which is not really that old in the whole history of Gunpla in general, but still, I mean, when we think of a 6-year-old high grade, we would think maybe not quite as nice as this one is, and it is definitely a really nice kit. There's still a lot that you could do with it, and I think that is one of the nice things about this kit, is that there is a lot of room on there still for improving the kit. The kit does have a lot of detail, a lot of nice part separation and things that's already done to the kit, but there's still a lot that you could do with it if you were really into customizing. So if you didn't want something as big or complicated or as expensive as the master grade, I think this is a really great option. As how this is going to compare to the real grade, we'll see about that very soon, so hopefully you guys are looking forward to that review. I'll try to get that out as soon as possible. As soon as I get the kit, I'm going to start working on it, and possibly even do some live streaming either on Facebook or YouTube of the building process of that. So we'll see. I'll see what I can do for you guys. Just depends on my schedule at that time, whatever I'm able to do. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you do have any other questions or comments, leave those down below. Especially if you have any questions or comments related to comparing this to the real grade, leave those down below here so I can try to have those in mind when I do my review of that and compare them. So thanks again, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.